It's been like a while since I've done like a quick thoughts, and there's a lot of stuff that's come out, but I just haven't had the time to talk about it. I've been really busy. A lot of stuff has been going on over the past month. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make these actually quick, first off, and then second off, I think I'm just going to record one of these like every day until I like catch up and tell you everything I want to tell you about and just share my thoughts on. Because there have been people I've talked to about this, but I think sometimes it's fun to just like vent to the internet about your thoughts about something, and that's kind of what this whole thing was originally supposed to be. So, I mean, I want to go back and I want to talk about like Better Call Saul and South Park and some other albums that have come out and like all these different things, right? But I think I'm going to start with something that happened to me today. And that is, I go through my YouTube Watch Later playlist, and, I always have watched The Needle Drop. I think he's a pretty solid music critic, all things considered, and I did not expect him to give this glowing review for this new album by this act called Daughters. Never heard of Daughters in my life. But the things he was talking about in this video about how the album was genuinely terrifying and how it, like, had, like, sometimes, like, occasional, like, common verse chorus structures and then kind of twisted it and just kind of, like, threw noise at you. Like, I was like, this seems, like, right up my alley. So I decided to give it a listen, and I finished it, and it's freaking fantastic. It was right up my alley. So his review, his recommendations is saying that, like, these kind of things will lead you to buy the album, which is what he said right before he gave his score, and I don't think reviewers should give scores, but whatever. Like, it was right on the money. So I'm just going to quickly just vent a little bit about how ridiculous this album is. I think 2018 is the year of weird albums. Just killing it. Because Death Grips is great and killed it. I think some of the Kanye stuff that's come out this year is definitely weirder on the production side, and that's come out really good. And there's just been some really good, like, weird, crazy music, like Tropical Fuckstorm, like, just some crazy stuff, right, that came out this year that was really, really good. And I think this, I don't know, this is really good. So, the first thing is, this is called You Won't Get What You Want. And the reason why it's called that is because of very, often sexual themes throughout the record. You won't get what you want. It's called Daughters. I mean, it's that sort of, like, horrorcore kind of, like, deeply sexual aesthetic that, often appears in certain horror tropes, right? So there's that, but I also think there's another aspect to it, a musical aspect to it, and maybe I'm reading into this too deep, but a lot of times with these songs, like Less Sex, the track named after the band, the last, like, 2 or 3 tracks, there are these, well, the last track is very different, actually, but I'm monitoring some pasta over here, so I'm just going to keep an eye out for that, too. I'm going to throw in this pasta. There we go. This might be too many noodles now, but I don't really care, because I can just have leftover. Anyway, what happens is the song starts, and it sounds like for a minute that, like, this is going to be like a normal song, like in terms of rhythmic and in terms of basic melodic structure, in terms of somewhat tone. Like, it sounds dark, right? But there's something familiar about it, and for a minute, for a second, you think that this is going to be a more conventional rock or punk song, right? But then it doesn't do that. And what it does, it just keeps throwing noise at you. It just keeps throwing new things until it just becomes this cacophony of just horror and symphony and, like, guitar. And then there's this dude in the front. He's just going, like it's not like screaming. It's like this whining, like almost pathetic sounding wailing over top of it that adds to this sort of aesthetic. And I think because of, like, how it sounds and what it does, it's like it starts with something and then it keeps subverting it and then just keeps throwing things at you. It's genuinely horrifying. Like there, I love black metal. I love like storytelling black metal. Like symphonic black metal, like Karak Angren. I saw them recently, or freaking Demon Borgir, like these artists that, like, paint these really, vivid sonic pictures of what's going on, and in Karak Angren's case, like, literally telling you, like, stories, right? And they're horrifying, right? But at least with that, there's a lack of accessibility to it. Where here, I think everyone, if you listen to, like, one track, right? There will be at least 5 seconds where you're like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. Where I think there are more horrifying, more like horror-themed acts out there where you just listen for 1 second and you're like, nope, this isn't for me. But I think it's more horrifying when you have that familiarity and then it just kind of gets tugged away from you, like ripped apart, and it just hurts at times, like almost to listen to. But it's good, and that's where I'm at. So, I mean, quick thoughts. This is 5 minutes. I think this is pretty good. We're going to keep trying to be quick about these things in the future. So hopefully, if I do this right, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll probably go back and talk about Better Call Saul tomorrow, but we'll see.